digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Yes, guys, welcome to not an emergency stream, but sort of an emergency stream. It is a breaking news stream. That's what it is. We were doing the play ratings earlier, and we got news about Thomas Frank, and I did say we will be on later. Rain is going to join me at 6:30. I can't peel him away from the Liverpool Man City game, but me and Tequila are here. We're here to bring you the latest on Thomas Frank, our views on what we've been given, and also we are the hottest two Spurs correspondents on YouTube, the Jim White and Simon Jordan of YouTube, and that's who we are. And I make no apologies for that either. Joining me, of course, is a man that used to run a football club who won today. He told certain managers where to get off. He's had his best mates with Daniel Levy, so he says, and he tried to have a fight with Deontay Wilder last week, which I'm surprised you never got clumped, but you did well. You held your nerve. Well done. It is our mate and everyone's mate. It is Tequila. How are you, bud, this afternoon?
Okay, mate. Trying to enjoy a restful Sunday. Tried to put yesterday's result out of my head. That's becoming a common theme most weekends. I do back the courage of my convictions, Dermo knows, just like me and Simon Jordan. Yeah, so how's everyone doing in the chat? Can see some people in there. Let's try and just try and chill on a Sunday. Well, Sunday evening now, isn't it? Just about.
Yeah, Sunday. Well, you're about to go off and do D&D and kill some.
Yes, I have a date with. I'm going to rescue some lovely damsels from their virginity. That's from the film Aliens. Before anyone tells me off, I realise I completely stole it from the film Aliens. So.
And I am. Yeah, I'll get that in a minute.
You're talking politics, aren't you? So Dermo's doing politics, and I'm killing dragons and stuff. So.
Yeah, we're slagging off Trump, and you're slaying dragons. So yeah, that's what we're doing on our Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Well, not me, Philip Brady, and our guest is. I'm in the background working because I'm busy putting together the pre-match show for tomorrow and all the streams up for the match on Tuesday. Big up to the two Marks. Big up to you guys. Hi, chaps. Big up to you. How are you doing, bud? Big up to Giant 68 as well. Big up Dermo and Tequila. Big up. Not big up. Just big up. Just simple. Big up.
Simple. Effective.
Yeah, simple. But just to let you know, Dermo, myself and the sheriff are the Saints. And yeah, you are. You look a bit like Saint and Greavesy. Yeah, that's true. Good program back in the day. But yeah, me and Tequila are the Jim White and Simon Jordan of the YouTube world. You know, like to say you are very much with your convictions, Tequila. I have to say,
I do back the courage of them.
Oh, you do, yeah, very much so.
Apparently.
And you did own a football club on EFC. Very good. So you are a football club owner, apparently.
I do have a better tan. I don't actually. I'm pale as hell, but I would like to have the same tan as Simon Jordan. That's not a real tan, don't I? Don't tell me.
Big up to Rhino. He says, "Big up Dermo and Tequila. What
Hey,
do I
mate.
do? Do I continue? Right, hang on. I can't see these. There's something wrong here. I don't know why.
What do you mean you can't see him? You can't see
I'm
him.
finding it very hard to read the That's it. No, that's okay. I can see it now. It's fine. Big up Dermo and Tequila. What do I do? Do I continue watching the games or do I stop watching for the sake of my mental health? And any of us, but well, I know what I let Tequila says his bit. I have a different view on it, but I let you say what you're going to say.
Without going into too much detail, because it's a private thing probably for you and me both. I would excuse me. I would always put mental health above more or less every health. Health full stop goes first. If it's really affecting you that much, bruv, then don't watch them. If it really is affecting you that much that it's making you like significantly worse in your day-to-day life, then I'll be honest and just don't watch. Come back in the summer. Hopefully we'll have a new manager in the summer. Hopefully we probably won't be relegated. I know that we probably won't be relegated, not impossibly, but it's unlikely we'll be relegated at the minute. It's still an unlikely thing to happen. So come back in the summer. If I'm being honest with you, mate, if it's as bad as you're making it out to be, your physical health, mental health comes first over everything, over football, over most things. That comes first. So if it's really that bad for you, bruv, then give Spurs a break for a couple of months. Come back in the summer. Hopefully we'll come back, watch the World Cup, enjoy the World Cup. Hopefully we'll have a new manager. Very well, it could be Poch. I mean, that would all make sense. And then we'll go again next year. And that's the honest God truth, Dermo, from my perspective. Like, you should put yourself first.
Yeah, look, I would agree with that in stating that mental health comes first. Of course it does. And I mean, when I've had to take a breaks from YouTube, I have taken breaks from YouTube when I feel I've had to. I'm probably different from Tequila. I'm very much I'm very numb to it now, I suppose, that I can not let results affect me like they used to. Maybe it's because of my age too. I'm older now. I'm nearly 50 next year, and I've learnt now to just put it to the background. Look, they lose. Yeah, you're going to be pissed off they lost, but it goes quickly out of my head as it does. It comes in. But you got to do what's right for you. And I can't tell you what to do, nor can Tequila tell you what to do. We can advise you, but it's down to you as a human being to make your own decisions and do what you think is right for you. Mental health should come first. Yes, we both suffer with it. I do too. But I mean, what I do is after a game, I might chill out and watch something on YouTube, or I'll sit down and watch me and Mr. Tron watch a YouTuber called Steve Marsh when he goes and travels around the world. Like, we watch that, and then I go and play on my PlayStation and sort of forget about the game. And then next day, I've got a clear head in it. This is what's happened, and we move on. Football is an emotional sport. Nobody can tell you any different. It is an emotional sport, and we do get involved in it. We do get emotionally involved in it. It's our football club. But you've got to do what's right for you. You've got to do what feels right for you. And if it means not watching Tottenham until the summer, don't watch Tottenham to the summer. And I think that also means you cut off YouTube as well. You cut off everything Tottenham. That means watching YouTube channels. You can't you just put it to the back of your head and you sort of do things to make you happy. But you got to do what's right for you. Everyone's different, aren't they, Tequila? Everyone has a different way of dealing with it. And
yeah, I mean, if you can turn,
it's hard to advise.
If you can turn it off, some people are easier to do that. If you can kind of regulate your emotions and turn it off, I mean, this is not going to become a mental health show, although me and Derma have spoken about maybe doing one, but it won't be now. But if you can turn it off, if you can cut the cord almost, you know what I mean? Like you watch the Spurs, and then if you can cut the cord after it and not let it affect the rest of your weekend, then do that. But if it's something you can't do, and not everyone can, you can't cut the cord, so to speak, then your mental health's got to come first. So whatever that means to you, Ryan, then do that, mate. If that means missing a couple of months of Spurs, then I mean, there's not exactly much left to play for. I mean, we've got a very small chance of a Champions League victory, but outside that, there isn't that much for us to play for anymore, unfortunately, this year. So.
Yeah, and look, I've got my Formula One starting this week, and so I'm looking forward to that. And that really does take my mind off it when Formula One starts. I love you know how much I love my Formula One. So I've got that, and that will help me now even more with the season. The Winter Olympics are on at the moment, so I'm watching that. So yeah, do what's right for you, Rhino. Also don't feel you can't reach out to me or Tequila or James or Rain, whoever comes on this channel. Don't feel that you can reach out to us. We're always here for you. We're here for all our subscribers and members, and we try to be. As I said, me and Tequila will be doing the mental health show probably in the summer. I would say Tequila probably the best time to do it. But we know what it's like, don't we, Bud? And without making it a mental health show, we do know what it's like. We've suffered with mental health. I've had to take breaks from YouTube because it's all got too much for me, and with the other things I've been suffering and diagnosed with as well, it can get very overwhelming. It can be extremely overwhelming, and especially if you are watching the team that you're so invested in doing badly and you're against the ownership as well. I think it can become extremely overwhelming and extremely a very dark place to be. So look, do what you think is right. That's my advice. But also remember, we're here for you. You're not on your own. And I think that's important as well, isn't it, Gila? That our subscribers and our members can reach out to us one way or the other if they need us. They can reach out to us, send us an email, or find us. Well, find me on social media because Tequila's not on social media, but they can reach out to us, can't they? By putting a comment in the chat or put a comment after a show. We'll always get back to them one way or the other. One of us will anyway.
Yeah.
But we are here for them, aren't we? And that's one thing we pride ourselves on this channel, isn't it? That we try to be there for our subscribers and members as much as we can. We're not good at it, but we try to be. And that's one thing I think we can pride ourselves on, can't we, Bud?
Yeah, but like I say, you know, if it really is getting that bad, Ryan, mate, then mental health first, football second. That's what I think anyway. So.
I mean, there is no game from the 10th, Rhino, to the 22nd, so you are going to get sort of a good week's break. I'm going away for a few days next week, Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going away for 2 nights. It's a delayed birthday present from Mrs. John, so I'm going away for a few days. I think after Tuesday, I might take a few days off anyway, take 3 or 4 days off and come back then at the weekend. It's a chance to recharge the batteries, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, do what you think is right now. But we're always here for you, Bud. You got my WhatsApp, so drop us a WhatsApp if you need any help. Where is he? Big up to John. Where were we in the St. Greavesy? Big up to John. He says, "Bang on, Dermot. Take good care of yourself." Big up to you, John. Hope you're all right. Big up to John. See what saves this season. We're only 6 points from a relegation zone. With a lack of fit players, we would have had a new manager. Would a new manager change anything? That's something we are going to discuss. Big up to Darren. He says, lose Tuesday. He's going to bring Robbie Keane. He has to bring Robbie Keane in. We will talk about Robbie Keane. I know me and Tequila probably have to agree in this. I have a different perspective, but we do. I think we agree, don't we, overall about Robbie Keane? Not manager for now, manager for later. Big up David Clark says, forget Thomas Frank. We have bigger problems with a certain person called Romero. I don't believe in coincidence. International break when Romero is either ill, injured, or suspended, guilty. Oh, that's a bit harsh.
That's a bit of a conspiracy theory, but we can talk about it.
Is that tinfoil hat territory?
I don't know if it's that far, but
I could just imagine David sitting with his tinfoil hat. Sorry, David, I am joking, by the way.
I mean, that would be a pretty evil thing to do, but I mean,
he is probably right. You know, we are going to talk about that. Big up to Mick Harmlick. Hope you and the missus are doing all right. Hey, good evening, Dermot and Tequila. Big up to you. Big up to John. Absolutely, I know. Big up to Stephen Cartwright. Big up, Stephen. Hope you're doing well. But I haven't seen you for a while, so big up to you. Hope you're doing well. It's so depressing realizing arseholes are winning the league. And do you know what, Tequila? On this, I don't care. Arsenal.
I don't care anymore either. I might have cared once upon a time, but I don't anymore.
Look, it's going to bother me the day they win it, and yes, it's going to annoy me. But after that, I'm just going to go to Bobby and Geeks and Brenny, say, get them on the show, congratulate them, well done, you're the best team in the league this year, and move on. I don't get this wanting Man when we were playing Man City, Tequila, wanting Man City to beat us. I never got that. That's
Yeah,
just so out.
see,
I'm sorry.
I got it a little bit, but I'll tell you what's happened. At least from my perspective, what's happened is I'm so despondent with
Mm.
my team that it's almost taking over what I care about the rest of the teams. Like right now, I don't care what any other team does at all, other than Spurs, because I'm so despondent on my team that I only
Yeah.
care what they do.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care who wins any league. I don't care who gets relegated, as long as it's not us. I don't care who wins the league at all.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I don't care. If they win it, they win it. Big up to 164. Hi, Dermo. I still can't believe Frank hasn't been sacked yet. In it playing the dangerous game they are. Big up to Elspur, sprinkling a bit of Vegas onto the channel. A little bit of style. Little bit. Has she invited you to Vegas yet, Tequila? You know, out there.
Still waiting for the invitation.
Elspur, get the invitation out. You know, get Tequila over there. Get him over to the. He could do a show live from the Hilton or live from the NGM Grand.
I'd do that show. What's the one when they got the tiger? What's the show they was doing in Las Vegas when they got a tiger?
Oh yeah,
that's what I'll do.
Wow.
Can't remember the
big
name
up
of
to Elspur. She says, "Big up crew, Coys. Big up to you, Elspur. Hope you're doing well." Big up. David says we got relegated in 677 with players like Jennings, England, Perriman, Coates, Peters, Hoddle, and Shiver. So I don't want any Spurs fans telling me those halfwits are too good to drop. No, they're not too good to drop. Any team can get relegated. Peter, David, sorry. Why am I calling you Peter? Sorry, David. Big up tonight. Big up to you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Dermo. I really feel we could go down with the trajectory of the club over the past couple of years. For us fans, it's devastating, but maybe the owners might sell up if we go down. I've got my rant on this, but I'm going to leave it to later. Tequila, I mean, can you see Nick selling up? I can't.
What if they get relegated? You mean?
Yeah, I can't.
Doesn't make sense, does it? Wouldn't the club be worth less if they get relegated?
Yeah, it would.
They're going to, are they?
Yeah, there you go. Big up to your Knights. Big up to I suppose says just watch a sad defeat at home by Chelsea over Tottenham women. Interesting. Martin Ho's win rate still better than Frank. That is funny. Big up to Derek Kane as well. Won't matter who manager is. We are way too many players injured, and some are just not at this level. That's good. That is true. Big up to Del Boy, loose Newcastle. Frank will be a goner. The only way he can save himself by getting 3 wins on the trot. That ain't gonna happen anytime soon. Big up to David. Just like to say, bad luck to Spurs ladies lost to Chelsea to have to dominate in the first half with 11 shots hitting the bar, but went behind before the break. Do you know what? I did catch a bit of that game, David, and I thought they were unlucky to win. I might start I might start doing some Spurs women's watch-alongs on here. Let me know if you want me to. At least that's the side that's doing well at the moment, Tequila. The women seem to be doing well, I have to say. Big up to them. Big up to the Spurs women's side.
At least a part of Spurs is working okay. Bless him.
Yeah. Maybe you should make this Spurs women till we die. Just forget about the men's side and just go full blown Spurs women. What do you reckon?
Improve our mental health, it would. So there you go.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're dirty dog.
I do have a one-track mind.
Yeah, you are a dirty dog. Big up Giant Dermo. You know what happens when you take days off. Big news usually happens. Enjoy your holiday. But yeah, normally. No, I'll be James or I'll be on WhatsApp. James or Tequila or any of you free. James says, "Yeah, I'm on the bus. Might break it." I still think that's the best video.
Yeah. We only break sackings on a bus, so don't expect anyone to be sacked unless one of us happens to be on a bus at the time. So that's just the way the rules are.
It is. Big up to Rumen Amarin in. Oh Jesus, we'll talk about that later. Big up to Wayne. Good evening, folks. Hope you're well. What have I missed?
Nothing.
You'll find out in a minute. Renault says, I would jump on that mental health show to help out if you'd like me to. The World Cup is what I'm looking forward to. That's it. Have something to run out for. Yeah, that's it. Big up to you, Rhino. We'll let you know, bud. We'll let you know. Big up to Ed Fan. Frank's time is running out, apparently. Big up to you. Big up tonight says, nah, it doesn't bother me who wins the league. We need to sort out our house before looking at others. Absolutely true. Big up to 1K101Y. Off the scale of big 6 to 5 of them are now within the top 6 of the Premier League. We're down at the bottom for the second year running. We are sad Sadly, not a big side, and we need to accept that. I agree. Big up, Stephen. I'm always here, Dermo. I just don't comment often. Well, big up to you, Stephen. Great to see you in the chat. Really is. Big up to more. What's that? More bid snails.
Yes.
Yeah, Morbid Snails 13. The fact that Frank is still here, gross negligence from the board. What the hell are they waiting for? And then big up to Rhino's renewed his membership. Big up to you, Rhino. Hope you're doing well, bud. Thank you so much. Tequila, don't say anything to Rhino for renewing his membership.
No, he's a good lad, is Rhino. He's been here for a while for us. So cheers for re-upping, mate.
Yeah, and we are going to do some member stuff. We have got one coming up. We are going to do a pre-record on me and Tequila on the worst. Is this the worst strike force in Spurs history?
Well, yeah.
I
You know my
you're gonna
feeling.
say-
I think you know my feelings. So.
Well, I think I found a better one than your Keane's, Berbatov, and Defoe lineup.
In the modern era,
In the last sort of, well, say in the last 45 years I've been supporting Tottenham, I think Garth Crooks and Steve Archibald were a better pairing than Berbatov and Robbie Keane.
Maybe in the numbers, and you can say that Sonny and Kane were better than Berbatov and Keane numbers wise.
Well, they were better than anyone, but I'm thinking, yeah. So
it's just personal preference, and also I suppose from my perspective that I liked Spurs the most during that period. So of course I'm going to be a little bit biased towards that partnership. I can't help it, dude.
No, you're right. I mean, Robbie Keane's a hero to me. He was great for Ireland, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. He's an absolute hero. But I think Steve Archibald and Garth Crooks, probably in my lifetime, was probably the best partnership I can remember growing up as a kid. Probably in my teenage, in my 20s, probably Berbatov and Keane. I don't think, and Kane and Son, well, they're sort of out on their own, aren't they? Harry Kane is our version of Jimmy Greaves. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, Wayne Bonner agrees with me, so big up, Wayne.
Yeah, big up to ES. Did you like the game yesterday? Not really, but what can you do?
No, were we meant to like losing again?
No, not really. It's only Alex Morgan could have played in the team. Imagine a terrific player with a forward-thinking coach like Martin Ho. There's a lot of people saying Martin Ho might do well for the men's side. Big up to Norman. It says title ain't over yet. City are 2-1 up. Jesus, they were 1-0 down. Fuck me, they've done well to come back from that. I listened to Talk. See, you're on Talk Sport. See, you're on Talk Sport last week. Tequila, you never told me. See, Dave was listening to you. I listened to Talk Sport last year where Tequila said he rang his mate Daniel Levy about the sale of his shares and said consortium doesn't have the money but are just making noise. I mean, can you confirm that, Tequila? I mean, you spoke to Daniel, your mate.
I'm going on Daniel's yacht next week. I'll come back with all the information you want.
Big up, David. Big up. That's true. I did hear that. Big up to Logan THFC. God, there's a lot of people in tonight. Tequila. Good evening, fellas. Big up to the both of you. Are we going to see big changes in the summer? I think we're going to see big changes before the summer. But yeah, we'll talk about that as well. Right, big up to everyone. What the F? Keno and Berbatov were the... Yeah, well, Wayne, exactly. I'm sorry. I just think Archibald and Crooks were good too. So there you go, Wayne. Greaves and... this has started a debate now in the chat. We've got Greaves and Gilsey. I mean, they were good. Oh, this show's going to be... That video is going to be good. You and me trying to discuss the best partnership ever in Tottenham history.
Something tells me we're all going to have different ideas. None of us are going to agree.
No, we're not. But maybe we do our best 5 Tottenham strikers, and we try to rate them in the top 5. That might be a good idea, actually. Martin Yo is doing a hell of a job with our ladies team. He is, and Haaland got a goal. He got a goal. Good, because he's in my fantasy football team. And then it says brilliant. It does help mine as well, John. Right, Tequila. Let's start with the news we got earlier when me and Rain were doing the play ratings. Did you agree with our ratings, by the way, on the team yesterday? Or would you have given -1s all the way around?
On the most part, no. I think Vicario did really well. I know some of his distribution was a little weak, but that is the weakest part of his game. But I mean, what a keeper's meant to do is he's meant to kind of stop a lot of shots, and without him, that would have been a very, very high score line. So I thought he had a good game. So I thought maybe I would have gone a little higher with him. But most of the outfield players, I mean, I'm actually surprised actually that you didn't give Romero a 1, really, considering that he is more responsible.
I did give him a 1.
Did you not give him 2s? Oh, I thought you gave him 2s.
I give him a 1. I tell you what I thought did play well yesterday, Tequila. I don't know if you agree with me. I thought Archie Gray was very disciplined yesterday in his performance.
I thought he was all right. I don't think he had like an amazing game, but he wasn't. No. He was far from the worst player on the pitch. He was okay.
Yeah, it was. Right, let's get on with this, Tequila. Sources have told us in the last sort of since to this morning that the club suggests that Tottenham Hotspur are actively discussing the future of Thomas Frank behind the scenes. Frank is under extreme pressure following poor league form and growing unrest internally. Senior figures at Tottenham have held internal talks about potential change if results do not improve immediately. A decision could be imminent, but no official sacking has been confirmed yet. Contingency plans are reportedly already in place, with discussions around a short-term or long-term replacements. A section of the squad have said to be losing belief despite public backing. They believe the preparation for the game at Old Trafford was incorrect, and they were given incorrect information about how Manchester United would set up and play. During the week, Frank was reportedly caught watching the United setup from the following Spurs games: Wolves, Arsenal, and Fulham. Tequila, what is your thought on that, bud? On all of that? I mean, where do you want to start with that? Do you want to start at the bottom or do you want to start at the top?
I think the first thing that struck me more than anything else, firstly, was who is analysing Thomas Frank's preparation? What footballing experts do we have? Please inform me. What footballing experts do we have who's in any position to analyse whether Thomas Frank's preparation was good or not? I'm not saying it was good or bad. I don't know, but neither do they, and they're as educated as I am to make that decision, really, because they are just mostly businessmen. So you tell me, Dermo, who is judging that?
I don't know.
Who's judging
I don't know. But I mean, look. Before we bring Rain in, big up Rain. I know you've just come from watching the topsy turvy game. Last time I looked, they were 1-0 down, but apparently City have won it 3-0. 3-1, so the title race is not over. I mean, Tequila, look, it says that Tottenham are actively discussing the future of Thomas Frank. Do you think it's because we're now, and I've got the table here, we've dropped down to 15th now in the league. We're on the same points as Leeds and Nottingham Forest are only 3 points behind us, and West Ham are only 6 points, and they're in the bottom 3. Do you think after this weekend's results, this has now tipped the board in, all right, we're going to have to do something here? I mean, you're right in what you're saying. You've been saying this. If it gets too close, they will act. And do you think they're sort of doing what you thought they were going to do? Because it looks like they are.
It's on that road. I don't think we're quite there yet. But you do have to get to a point where when is enough? When is the gamble too big? Is the answer, right? See, right now you can say the gamble's bigger than it was a month ago, and I agree. A month ago we were further away, so we are slowly losing ground. Right, we're slowly being dragged in, and every game that goes past, we keep losing, and there's less and less games. There is going to be a tipping point. Do I think it's there yet? No. I don't think it's going to be there after Newcastle, and I don't think it's even going to be there after Arsenal, because I think the board, I would like to believe, are at least realistic enough to realise the chances of us getting any points from either of those two games is very low. I'll be surprised if we get even 1 point. I'm surprised if we even get one draw. That would be a point that I wouldn't have expected us to get if we could even get a draw. So I think they will probably most likely reassess after these hard run of games, see some of the easier fixtures we've got, and then maybe decide if they want to take the final gamble, because that's what it will be, the final gamble with Thomas Frank. But again, Dermo, as we discussed before, who is this saviour that they think all of a sudden is going to magically appear that's going to get us out of this? Because I don't see who this person's meant to be.
I don't either. I look just very quickly, Rain. Sorry, I will bring you in, bud. I just want to finish off the line of question. I have to get it done. I've got different set for you, bud. But just one more thing on this, Tequila. A decision could be imminent, but no official sacking has been confirmed. Do you think the board are now realizing, oh, hang on a minute, we're only 6 points off West Ham. We've got Newcastle and Arsenal next, potentially 2 more defeats. If West Ham wins when West Ham win on Wednesday, and then there's only 3 points, do you think the board will have to make a decision now, or do you think they? I mean, I was told then about 20 minutes ago that a sacking could potentially be before the international break or during, depending on results. Does Newcastle and Arsenal? Is it pitiful to keep Thomas Frank in the job, or do you think it's gone beyond that? Because it's only 2 wins out of the last 16 we've had.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thomas Frank is finished at Spurs no matter what happens. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. And so if ENIC are reluctant to because they don't want to pay up, then they're going to have to pay up. The only difference is that they might have to pay ever so slightly less in a couple of months, but they're going to have to pay up nonetheless because there's no way he's going to be manager next year. I don't think the fans will stand. So barring a minor miracle and him winning the Champions League, and he would have to, I can't see any way that he stays.
Okay.
So it's just like when do they stick or twist? They are going to be betting an awful lot on let's say the assistant manager gets it right, or they do something silly like bringing Ryan Mason back. Just an example, right? They have to hope that this new manager bounce, as they call it, that's what they're hoping for. That's what they're hoping for. That somehow the leashes will be off, and then the players can express themselves a bit more, right? But you and me don't know, and neither does Rain. None of us do really. How much the board think, how detrimental they feel Thomas Frank is, and if they feel that he is literally damaging our chances, then they've got to get rid. If that's what they feel, that's
a big up to us. But it's something that we will talk internally about covering the women's game. I know me and Rain were going to do some under 21 watch-alongs, anything to make us happier watching football. But yeah, I'll talk it over with the guys. It's something I've been toying over. So if there's a clamoring for it in the chat, if you guys want me to cover the women's side, I will do. Let me know. It is all part Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day. So let us know, guys, what you want us to do. Big up our Spurs. She said we'll be down to listen to more Tottenham's women content. Something we might do. We got David Cott. No, David. Sorry. I am sorry. No, Tequila knows. Hold me back, Tequila and Rain. Just hold me back. Got to hold me back on this. Pardon?
Just seeing what he's written.
Yeah. Sod Robbie Keane. How dare you say sod Robbie Keane? Robbie Keane is an Irish international hero.
He probably means it as manager, not player.
He's doing very well as a manager too. He's one of the few Irish players to become a good manager. I am sorry, David. That's it. Hold me back, guys. Just hold me back. Hold me back, guys. Hold me back. Sod you. Anyway, big up David Clark. You're entitled to your opinion. I respect you for your opinion. Might not agree with it, but I respect it. Big up to you, David Clark. Right, Ray, good evening. How are you, sir? After trying to hold me back.
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah.
Look, this broke when we were live doing the play ranks this morning, wasn't it? And we sort of went over it briefly. You said something at the end of the show behind the scenes, which I want to start on you, bud. What did you say to me? Your exact words before we left StreamYard when the show's finished. What were your exact words? Because I actually agree with it. To be fair,
I mean, this is my take on it, right? And I totally, your behind the scenes sources are very, very good. So
no, they're not very, very good. They're the best.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
YouTube.
Yeah. And my take on it is the time to. I don't know. I'm not allowed. How long you been live? 35 minutes. I'm not sure if I can swear.
Hang on. Let me check with the adjudicator. Tequila, can we swear? You're the boss on this, so can we swear?
I wouldn't at 6:30, but you can just
that I will
Be creative.
I will substitute it. I will substitute it.
Yeah.
The time to flip in panic was in the January transfer window.
Yeah, it was.
It was not now when we've got 10 fit first team players. That's where I am. It's absolutely bat guano crazy that their version of we absolutely need to do something because, quite frankly, it is we are staring down a barrel. Maybe they didn't think. Maybe they were cruising in January, thinking, "Oh, we don't need to worry about anything." And maybe it's only now that we're 6 points off 18th that it's suddenly become real for them. Well, do you know what? There's a lot of us who have who don't have the influence or the power within the club, who were already panicking, who already could see this coming up. The problem is not. Look, I've got a lot of beef with Frank, and I would be quite happy if Frank leaves the club. But Frank leaving the club now, what's a new coach going to do? Is he going to decide to play different players when we've only got 10?
Rain, it will only be the new bounce, mate. That's the only thing they could be counting on. The whole.
Do you think that's what they're hoping for?
But you remember when Ange came in, guys, right? And one of the reasons why I think that 10-game run was as good as it was is because the Spurs players have been hackled and shackled by 2 defensive managers in a row with both Mourinho and then Conte. I think that 10-game was so much of them just being let off the leash, and I think maybe they're hoping for something like that. Players will be allowed to be a bit more creative, you know what I mean? Given a bit more freedom, and then that will just about push us through. That's the only thing I can think that they would think of.
I want to ask you 2 questions.
So I get one second. I get that. I get that totally. That's the general argument. In the first 20 minutes against Man United, we were fantastic. We were actually. We were playing it around. We were being creative. It was mainly the bozo moment from Romero,
the referee,
and I'm going to say from Romero and Oliver's response to it, which surprise, he comes down hard on Tottenham Hotspur. That meant that we were, and then Thomas Frank's response to take off Odebear, that meant that we were basically out of that game, in my opinion. So I'm not sure what a new coach can do. I mean, apart from maybe motivating the players, but I don't think that they don't look unmotivated. They just look under. They just don't look like they've got the support in terms of numbers. The players who we have got are being overplayed because they're the only ones who are there. I don't know. I don't know what changes. I don't know what physically changes.
I think the whole club's a mess from top to bottom, from manager to owners to whatever. I think it's a complete and utter circus. I mean, Tequila, you look around the Lange last season. Would you say we're more chaotic this season than we were last season? Or would you say we are where... I mean, we're only 2 places off 17th again, so we're going back to where we started the season. So I think we haven't moved forward. Is that the case then, Tequila? We've gone backwards under Frank.
I don't think we've gone backwards. I think the parallels between last season and this season. I will say this though. I think probably just based on what I've seen, I think that probably as a unit they were a bit more together under Postecoglou than I think they are under Frank. We saw that very, very early on with, we all remember the Van der Ven, Jed Spence when he comes off. I'll never forget that image.
What, against Chelsea?
Yeah, right then and there, You saw two different players, more or less, telling you what they really thought of the manager. No, they of course didn't say anything, and Frank of course poo-pooed it and said, no, come on, right. So right then and there, that was when I was like, okay, so there is serious disagreements with the way things are, and I think Postecoglou, in his defence, God, I'm predicting Ange now, is
have you got something to wash your mouth out with?
Yeah. In his defence, though I think last season was terrible, and this season's also bloody terrible. I think he had a slightly tighter ship. For what that's worth, I don't know. But
so do you get? I get what you mean, that the club, the players were together. It was a brotherhood, wasn't it? They were all
more than I think it is this year. But the results are more or less the same. We're terrible we're terrible domestically, and in Europe we somehow perform in Europe. It doesn't really make sense, but it is what it is. That's 2 years in a row. It's been the same thing.
Yeah, big up to you, Henry. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, bud. He says, guys, if we lose to Newcastle, he has to be sacked. I said it to you guys, didn't I, yesterday? Or was it yesterday, or was it a while ago? That it feels like last season, after every game, is this the game where he's going to be sacked? Is this the game where it's all going to end? And you said it a long time ago, Rain, that the club is rudderless at the moment. There's no leaders. There's nobody's at the driving wheel. Nobody's at the driving the car at the moment. It seems like they're letting it freewheel down the hill with nobody going to put on the brakes. Palace won today. Teams around us got points today. That's why we've dropped down to 15th now. I mean, guys, if we do get relegated, if it did happen, and we are in a relegation battle, and I know you're tight for time, Tequila, so we'll start with you. If we did get relegated, Tequila, do you think that might be the way to reset the club? I mean, I don't want us to get relegated. None of us do. But does relegation do that? Or is that a stupid argument to have?
I don't think it's going to get the owners out. Because as me and you kind of discussed before we went on air, to sell Spurs at that point, that will be at its lowest value. So they're not going to sell. If they do sell, it won't be until we go up again. Then maybe they might think, now I want rid of it. Could have experienced relegation, but they won't sell after we get relegated because it will be at its lowest value. So if that's the idea, then you won't get what you wanted. Whether or not that forces other changes, maybe. But from the owner's standpoint, it won't force them to sell if that's the kind of thing you're thinking of, Dermo, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it is 50 years next year that we were last relegated out of top flight, 76, 77. 74, 75, 75, 76. I mean, 75, 76, we went to the last day of the season. We had to beat Chelsea to stay up that year. And then the following year, we went down. I leave you with this, Tequila, before you have to pop, bud, because I know you've got some dragons to slay and some Dasmal, some fair maidens to rescue.
Oh, yes.
Stodger. You know,
Always.
You are the Brad Pitt of the D&D world, as we all know. You like that, do you?
I do. Yeah. Keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. Yeah. Yeah. If I bother you any more with compliments, you're going to be slidey. Never mind. Let's stay away from that. Anyway, I don't think Rain got the joke, but never mind.
That's fine.
Rain's thinking, what the hell have I come into?
He's thinking, what the hell are these idiots talking about? That's what he's thinking.
Yeah, they are. That's what he's probably is thinking. Just the last point on this, bud, with Thomas Frank. Somebody put in the chat, we finished 13 points above relegation last season under Ange. What is for you think the safety point? How many more wins do we have to get to be safe?
I remember there was talk about this in the chat the other day, and there was not an argument, but there was a disagreement. Some people said 3 wins, some people said 2 wins. I do think that it's going to. I personally will feel safe at 40 points. That normally gets you over the line most often. So I think 40 points. Yeah, people in the chat. Yeah, I think 40 points. So that is going to be 3 wins and a couple of draws, which I think we can do. That's why I think most likely we won't get sucked in, but it's far from impossible. But it's not. If I were to put a percentage on it, I think it's probably 90% that will be fine. But that's not 100%. That's 90.
That's brave. You're brave, bud.
Yeah.
Different thing to me. Where can people find you, bud? Because I know you've got a gaming channel. Don't tell people about that.
Yeah, obviously you can find me on here with these guys, and I have a gaming channel called The Play Pouch, and there's some South Park, The Arc of Stick of Truth, I think it's called, that's coming over the next couple of days. So yeah, after 9 o'clock because it's adult. So YouTube.
Well, look, I let you go and do your D&D. Thanks for starting the show with me, bud.
No worries, mate.
You will be back. I know you do. But look, give the Play Pouch a big bounce and give them a few subs if you can. You can put the link in if you want, Tequila. And
I'll put it in a sec. Yeah.
Yeah. And but yeah, I know. Enjoy your D&D. Go and
guys.
slay some dragons from me, bud. And we shall speak to you later.
I'll get revenge for you, Dermo. Still got to get revenge for you.
Yeah, get revenge for me. I know whoever cut my head off and chucked it down the hill, please do that.
Kufa.
Yeah. All right. I love words with him, mate. Right. He told me it was you, but okay. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Cheers.
Have a good stream, lads. Have a good stream.
Yeah. See you later, bud.
Take care, guys.
See you later. That is the Simon Jordan of our community, of course, Tequila. Big up to you, Rain. Rain, look, I want to start in this, bud, right? You're very much on not sacking Thomas Frank, right? You don't see how it's going to be solved. Right. Let me just finish.
No. I'm going to contest I'm not for sacking Thomas Frank because that's not
every time I've brought it up, you have said there's no point in sacking Thomas Frank.
I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, but if the club do...
But I've no problem with Thomas Frank being sacked.
Yeah.
None.
So if they do sack him, when's the best time to sack him?
The best time to change the best time to change head coach will be in the summer.
But if you're thinking a new manager bounce will help you away from relegation, then have Tottenham...
I don't think it will.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think it will. I think a new coach bounce happens when a new coach can come in and make changes. And there's no changes that a coach can make at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That's the fundamental of our problem. The fundamental of our problem is, and the fundamental problem that Frank actually has, is that we now have only 10 fit players. It used to be 11, and now it's 10.
Yeah, so that's the club's fault, isn't it? That's the club's responsibility to back a manager. But if the club
we don't know. We don't know. We don't know if Frank isn't involved in that. We don't know if Frank isn't involved in stopping players coming in who would have bolstered the squad. We don't know. We used to call it the transfer team because everybody used to talk about the coach or the DOF, but they all act as a team. So, and you have to think with Lange and his relationship with Thomas Frank that there has to be some kind of close. There have to be singing off the same hymn sheet. There have to be.
I look, for me, I think the transfer window is probably one of the worst I've seen from a Tottenham point of view in all the years I've been following them. I think Johan Lang does need to go. I think we do need changes there in that bit of department. But I mean, there is fans out there that say that they didn't want any money being spent, but they could have bought in loans. They could have done that. But if we don't get a win against Newcastle on Tuesday, and then the next game is 10 days away, 12 days away against Arsenal, we know how big the North London derby is. How important is it? Say if Tottenham do beat Arsenal for whatever reason, and we get a win against them, does that euphoria sort of stop the noise around Thomas Frank? Do you know what I'm getting at? Beating Arsenal.
I'll be honest, Dermot. I'll be brutally honest to you, mate. I don't hear any noise about Thomas Frank leaving the club. I don't hear anything.
There's plenty of noise about it.
I don't see it. No,
maybe
I don't see it. So
I do. I do see it, and I've heard it.
I'm not criticizing you. I'm not criticizing you. I'm saying that I don't see it, and I honestly, I just don't. I think we're past it. I think we're past.
Do you think we've gone so past it and so fed up that we don't want to be bothered with it anymore? It is what it is.
I just don't think it's going to make a difference. I think people have accepted that the primary problem at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is not the head coach. I would be quite happy if Frank got sacked. I don't think it's going to make a difference.
So
And I think a lot of fans have also come to the conclusion that
I
right
just
here,
want it
right
done.
now, it's
I
not going
just
to
want
make a
it done.
difference.
One way or
Yeah,
the
but
other, just do it. Who are you going
yeah,
to
but
bring in? That's the biggest question. And do you have a bounce? I agree. You probably won't. But I am sorry. I mean, this is like Ange last year. After every game, you see it on X. You see, I mean, I don't even bother in WhatsApp and the people I use. Is he getting the sack? Because I can't be bothered to. But this news just dropped this morning that
oh no,
now
absolutely, we have to talk about it.
the Tottenham board are now thinking, right, it's time to make a change. But did they back themselves into a corner where it's now too little, too late? If you were going to make a change, make it before the January transfer window, buy some more players in, or even if you're not going to keep the manager in, get some players on loan to help him out because the squad is now down to 10 fit players. We've got an injury crisis worse than we did last season. And as you said, there's kids going onto the Premier League website. They can't even put their pictures to their names because they don't know who they are.
Yeah,
I mean, you look at our bench yesterday. You're right about not making a change. I think we should have left it to half time. You are right about that. And was thinking about that after the player rating show. But surely the board do have to take responsibility for not backing him, whatever. They did say, didn't they, before the window, we're going to back this manager. And they didn't back him. So, I mean, where are you on it with the board not backing the manager? Do you think that was a mistake? Considering our injury crisis we've got at the moment.
of course it was. Absolutely 100%. In fact, I think Lange's interview was a massive cell phone. I think it was a massive cell phone in terms of how they approached the transfer window, the general thought about how you build a squad, and all of the problems that we've got at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. So yesterday, we had on the bench, so we had Radu Dragusin, 24 years old, right? Radu Dragusin. Just coming back now from injury. We had Yves Bissouma, who most of us want gone from the club. Okay, 29. That's great. Okay. We've got Mwani, who plenty of us would have been happy that he wouldn't be at this club. And now we come to the problems. We've got Matisse Tell, 20 years old, struggling to find his way. We've got Souza, played his 25th Premier League game. Top flight, 25th professional game yesterday. 19 years old. We've got Byfield, Janai Byfield, 17 years old. We've got Callum Lasesi, 18 years old. We've got Luca Williams Barnett, 17 years old. This is where our club is. These were the players that are available to change the shape of our first team. And we let Scarlett go out on loan.
That decision, I don't
and we let Dane
that.
Scarlett go out on loan. So what I don't get from what you read out. I don't know if have you put it up on screen at all?
No, I haven't. No, I will do it. Yeah.
What I don't get is this. Frank was caught. Frank was seen looking at the way Manchester United have been playing. I don't understand that. I need somebody to explain to me how that's a problem. Is that not what a coach should be doing? I don't get it. Is that a problem?
I think what they're saying that is the way that he set up the team for Manchester for the game, and he got his tactics and he got his foot. Oh God, sorry. Let me do that again. He got his tactics totally wrong and do you know they do their meetings before the game? Carrick had changed the way he was going to play against Tottenham, and they just thought they were going to play the same way they played against Wolves, Arsenal, and Fulham.
Which makes sense.
And he built his tactics around that. But instead of airing a little bit of caution into it, okay, they may do this. I think they changed formation yesterday against us, I think, as well.
But I don't get it.
So,
I still don't get it.
It says a section of the squad is said to be losing belief, despite they believe the preparation for the game at Old Trafford was incorrect. That's the first bit. So the section of the squad said you didn't get your tactics right. Maybe it's the 3-4-3. Maybe setting that up. Maybe you shouldn't set up as a 3-4-2. Maybe the players feel comfortable playing a 4-3-2-1. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I don't get it either. I really don't.
But it was working. We looked good in the first 20 minutes. This is why so I don't get the idea that he shouldn't have been doing that, and I don't get the idea that it was wrong. You know, it's easy in hindsight to say, "Oh, that was wrong," but and I don't get this. You know, Carrick came out and played slightly differently. I don't think he did. I think he plays 4-2-3-1. I think that's what he plays consistently. So I don't know. That feels like people are now searching for the standard excuses for why a coach is underperforming, when the reality is that the main reason why Frank is struggling is a lack of players. The reason why we struggled in the first half of the season was we didn't have anybody who could put the ball in the back of the net. That was the main reason we struggled. I
just want to say, by the way, and I've seen a few comments saying like it's a bullshit story. Anything I get off my sources is normally 100% correct. Rain is not criticizing the news we're getting. He's only trying to make people understand about certain parts of it.
I totally believe it. I totally believe it. I totally believe that that people inside the club who are looking for reasons for why we're being dragged into a relegation battle will look for any reason except something that they're directly responsible for.
That's that bit. So, I knew I'd get. Colin was saying the problem, a section of squad so losing belief would be the information getting credit for that. That was when Ruben was manager. So that must be going back to the first game at White Hart Lane.
Yeah. So the point is, because it's the same players, so you can still talk about players. But the point is, I absolutely believe this, okay? Because what people, especially corporate people, will do, right? What corporate people will do is they will look I'm rubbish in corporate circles. Do you know why? Because I try to take responsibility and I own up to things that, to problems that have been caused in my area because I look to fix them. And then I look to fix them long term so they don't get repeated. But I see so many people in corporate life who have Teflon shoulders. Nothing is ever their fault. It's always somebody else. And you just watch them just go through their career, leaving a trail of destruction behind them. It's never their fault. And I don't know how these people live with themselves, right? I absolutely believe that there are people within the club right now going, FSA and C. I've seen so many of your comments, mate. I haven't seen your name before, but I've seen so many of your comments, and you could literally be. I don't know whether you're a repetitive viewer of the show. Please like and subscribe. But it's almost like you are repeating a lot of the stuff that I've been saying. So I completely agree with you, right? So yeah, absolutely. Dermot will tell you, 80th minute subs is something that I am absolutely.
I
I'm
think we
done
both
with.
yesterday in the watch along. I said, "What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah.
You're not going to change anything in 10 minutes." But
But getting back to my point,
yeah,
Dermot,
yeah.
it stinks. It
Mhm.
stinks of people. Yeah, exactly. The board should sack themselves. It stinks of people in the board and other people like Lange or whoever going, "Oh, what are the reasons why Frank isn't performing?" No, 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 no. Let's go back to January and think, why didn't we get the players in that we needed to get in? Because we needed to get players in. We absolutely needed to get players in, 100%. Right?
It is. You're right. It is, and January does play a major factor in that. That we didn't get anyone in. I like the bit of this, right? And I do, and I've read it a few times.
Do you know what I mean about the corp? It stinks of corporate.
Yeah,
It stinks of somebody trying to cover their back. And do you know
Yeah, it
what?
does.
Sack Frank.
Yeah.
Frank. If we get a 2-game bounce, right? Let's sorry, I know I'm diverting you. If we are going to sack Frank and try and get a 2-game bounce, don't do it before the Arsenal game. Let him fail on the Arsenal game. What are our games directly after? Because nobody's going to come in and like beat Arsenal in their next game. So our next games after that are Fulham away, Palace at home, which you're going to, Liverpool away, Forest at home. So sack him after the if they are lining him up to sack him, right? Then don't do it now. Give a manager a chance and sack him after the Arsenal game. Give a new head coach a chance. Sack Frank after the Arsenal game.
And then
that
take
gives,
it from there.
And then take it from there. How long does that give?
I mean, so there's an international break in there as well, isn't there? Somewhere along the line. I think at the end of March, there is an international break.
Yeah. So the Arsenal game is on the 22nd of February, and then there's 1st of March. So I'm looking at my calendar. So then it's a week. So then there's a week break until Fulham. So if he's sacked directly after, we inevitably, I mean, if he doesn't lose to Arsenal, then fair play to him, keep his job, right? Fair play to him. But if he loses to Arsenal, just sack him, get a new manager in, and see if we can get Fulham, Palace, Liverpool, Forest, see if Sunderland, Brighton, see if we can get 3 wins out of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games.
We do have a 12-day break, don't we? We do have a 12-day break between Tuesday to Arsenal because it's FA Cup next weekend, isn't it? So we're not involved in the actual. Do you think? I know Arsenal, and look, I've always said it. I've said it to you, haven't I? If we lose against Arsenal, I think the noise is going to be unbearable within the fan base at the game. I mean, at the stadium, the boos, and the get him out of our club. We are losing to Arsenal, and I hate losing to Arsenal. I can't see us winning, but do you think the board are reacting too late to this? Because I think they are. I think what they should have done was backed him in January with players, even with loan players, even with loans with obligation or with just a straight loan to the end of the season. Give him a few extra bodies within the squad. I don't think Thomas Frank. I think Thomas Frank, for me, has never been a Tottenham manager. I don't think he is. He's a good manager if you want to stay within the Premier League. But look at Brentford. Brentford have gone on from Thomas Frank. Look where Brentford are now, fighting for Europe. They never did that when Thomas Frank was manager.
They did.
Yeah, but I think they will get Europe under Keith Andrews. Maybe I'm being biased because he's an Irish player that's become a very good Premier League manager. But Brentford, for me, have gone on. Brentford actually have gone up a notch without Thomas Frank. I just hate this after every game, Ren. Is this the game when it happens? Defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat after defeat. It was like Ange last season, wasn't it?
That isn't a reason to do it, though, Dermot. That isn't a reason to do it. It isn't a reason to do it because certain people talk about it all the time, and like I try very
Well, I've
hard
been,
not to talk
I'm,
about sacking Frank.
yeah, I mean,
I try extremely hard to avoid doing that, because I want to talk about what happens on the pitch. I want to
yeah,
talk about what Frank is directly responsible for, but I'm also very clear that the major problems at our club, and I'm going to
yeah.
just go again and again and again.
Do
The
you
major
agree with
problems that
Dominic here? Do you agree with here? He says, "Why sank Frank if we lose the Woolwich game? We should have pulled the trigger after the loss to West Ham."
Well,
I mean,
I'm gonna say, Dominic, just because they didn't do it a month ago, it doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it in a month's time or in 2 weeks' time. That's not the way that life works.
and
If you think that it was right a month ago, then you probably think it's right now. There's nothing in that time that's persuaded you that it's not the right decision to do now, unless you think, wrongly, I would say, that Frank is the person who's in charge of transfers.
well, then we know then he's not. We know Johan Lang is, and we know that's the failure of the board, which I think all our attention should be on. By the way, on the board, our attention should be trying to make them the fans should turn their attention to the board and ask the questions, why did you not do one thing in January? That's the bigger question, isn't it? The bigger question
I
is the
mean,
board.
during the transfer window, Frank was giving lots. There's lots and lots of quotes from Frank during the transfer window. We need players. We need players in early. We need we will be getting players in. We need to bolster the squad. He did lots and lots and lots of lots and lots of messages in during the press conferences where he was saying he needs players, and then we didn't get them.
No. That's down to the board. That's Enid's fault. That's the Lewis family fault. It's not Thomas Frank's fault. Thomas Frank's job. Well, I've got a problem with Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank's a manager. His job is to get results. Is to prepare a team for game, and get results. That's his job. So his job should be either you get sacked or you get kept on a results business. Football is a result business, right? You and me can agree on that. The board, Lang and Lewis family's job is to give the manager the tools to do that job. Is to give him the players to fulfill his philosophy, to back him when he needs backing with players, and also build a structure around him that supports him when he needs supporting. Example: a decent medical team to get players back ASAP. A director of football which is going to support him in the players he wants and try to build a scouting network around his philosophy. The Lewis family have to provide investment into the team to buy these players and to buy the players that they need for the manager to do his tools. If you are the owner and you're not going to back your manager with players, then what's the point of having a manager? Because he's not going to succeed anyway. If you have a director of football who isn't all he's good at is bringing in youth players, but you look at his time at Aston Villa are now climbing. Where are we? Struggling. And you've got owners who don't invest. They dropped in 100 million, right? Not long before Christmas. Then come out, we've got 150 million war chest. We're going to go for it in January and don't bother. So Thomas Frank is now, he has no Daniel Levy. He has no Paratici as people to protect him. He's got nobody to protect him. He's got nobody to support him. He's there on his own. He's got an ownership that don't want to invest in the team or in the club, and we've got a director of football who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. So Thomas Frank is now cut out on his own. We've got a medical team that is next to rotten, that can't even fix a player. You know that as well as I do. So Thomas Frank will be the man that's going to get the heat because he's the man that goes out and does the press conferences. He's the man that puts himself above the parapet. He's the one that's going to get shot at by the media, by the fans, by everyone. But when there is a chance to give a clear message to the board, like getting behind Change for Tottenham, like turning up to protests, and make a noise that the board cannot ignore, they have to do their bit. Then what's the point? Because nobody's doing that. Everyone at the moment is circling their wagons around Thomas Frank, but nobody's making the noise to say it's Vinay or Johan Lang's fault or the Lewis family fault for not investing within the squad in a January window where you and me can see it, Rain, as clear as day. We need players. This squad needs backing. So what do I hate to say it, and I do hate to say it, but what do people expect? What do fans expect if an ownership won't back a manager and they don't trust that manager? Well, we're keeping them in there because we don't have a clue what to do. Vinay is running around like a headless chicken. Johan Lang is second command to Paratici, so we've got a second in command running the transfer department. We've got a chief executive second in command to Daniel Levy trying to run Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and they're not up to the jobs. And we've got an ownership in the Lewis family haven't got a clue what to do. And as for Peter Carrington, I still don't know what he's doing at Tottenham. Maybe you can explain to me, Rain, but I don't know what he's doing. And the one man that is suffering the most, as much as I hate going to say it, is Thomas Frank. He's the one that's suffering. He's the one that's taken all the hits from the fans, from the media, from some of the certain players within the squad. He's the one taking all the hits. You got Romero coming out, what he's saying on social media. Where's the board? Where's Lang? Where's Vinay? Where's their support for the manager during a window where we can buy players? So at the end of the day, they're setting up another manager to fail. And Thomas Frank will fail because he doesn't get the backing. Ange Postecoglou won the Europa League. That papered over a massive crack. Did we get lucky? Probably by winning that league. Did we get a favourable draw to the run to the final? To be fair, we were one of the favourites to win it at the start of the campaign. And we wasn't the greatest final in the world, but we won it, and I'll take it and I'll celebrate it. But was he backed? Probably more than what Thomas Frank's been backed. So whose fault is it then? And I think the one person I think is so important to this story, and probably is the one person that holds the key to everything, is Daniel Levy. And his war against ENIC and ENIC's war against him. The more focused on getting Daniel Levy and his shares for as cheap as possible than concentrating on running a football club to make sure the manager has the players available, the players have the best medical advice available, that we conduct a full season where we fight in all fronts. And yet again, we're coming to an end of another season where we can only compete on one front. And again, it's down to the owners. We can blame Thomas Frank is the one to blame because he's the one that's sticking his head above the parapet. The rest of them all hiding. And we as fans have to get behind change for Tottenham. I'm sorry for the rant. Sorry for the rant. I didn't mean to. And Rain, I mean, am I right in what I'm saying, or am I wrong?
So let me respond to all of that.
Sorry.
Let me respond to all of those points. Right. The head coach is the most disposable person at any football club. He is the least important and the most disposable person at a football club. There are many people who say that the coach is the most important person. They're not. They're the least important person at a football club. They're even less important than the tea lady, right? They get paid big bucks, but that's because they've got a really rubbish job. There are people behind the scenes at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club who are directly responsible for the position that we're in. 6 years of poor squad building. I don't like to use the word investment because then people go, "Oh, we spent lots of money," but we haven't spent it right. We haven't bought quality players who improve our first team. We buy players who might be good in the future.
Mm.
I think FSA&C, I think, put it really, really well about an hour ago. On the weekend, you don't have to bring it up, but
sorry.
against you don't have to. But against Newcastle, we're going to start with Sousa, 19-year-old Sousa on the left, and 18-year-old, I think maybe 19-year-old Gray on the right, at fullback. This is a direct consequence of the transfer policy at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for the last 6 years. Right? The fact that we've got Odebear as one of our starting wingers, 21 years old. Tell is one of our main first team players, 20 years old. These are players who may come good, but at the moment they do not have the character, they do not have the experience, they do not have the quality that's needed to fight in the Premier League. That's where we are. So we then bring in Xavi, throw him in, go and play, son, and wonder why he can't perform when he hasn't got a striker in front of him for half the season. And who's at fault here? It's not Frank who's at fault for this. It's not Frank. I want Frank. I do want Frank to not be the head coach of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But it's not for all of these reasons. It's for completely different reasons. The position we're in is not because of Thomas Frank. It's because of Levy, Enoch, Lange. Lange needs to get out of our club. I've seen an insight into that guy's the way that he thinks about how squad building should work, and he is the reason why he is one of the reasons why we're in this mess, right? And he is one of the reasons why probably I'm going to say it. He's one of the reasons why Villa couldn't get out of the Championship, right? And then them demoting him and getting somebody to do the job properly was the reason why they actually started to climb up the Premier League. They saw in him that he couldn't do the job. And then we have signed him, and he's a corporate stooge. 100%. He's one of these brown nose. I'm going to go full. I'm never usually this effusive. He is a brown nose, Teflon shouldered corporate stooge. And he needs to, we need people like that out of our club. We need people who can do the job properly and who have some understanding of how things actually work. He has no accountability for the position that we're in. Why? Because he buys players who might be good in 3 or 4 years. So they don't have to be
not
good
ready now, players.
They don't have to be good now. And that's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. Our transfer team should be buying players. Now, I'm going to give them some props. Kudus, Xavi, Paulinho, Gallagher. These are all players who fit that profile. Mawani was a miss. You're going to get misses, right? You're going to get misses. But again, he was the right profile. But the problem is that this has been happening for 6 years. For 6 years, we've been buying the wrong type of player, and this is what you get. If you spend 6 years stuffing your face with fast food and not exercising, if you spend 6 years doing all the wrong things, don't be surprised if now 6 years later your body is a mess, right? That's the way that life works. And that's what Tottenham Hotspur Football Club has been doing. We've been doing the wrong thing for 6 years, and now we're like, oh, why is everything a mess? Well, there you go. This is why.
Saying, let add to that. I think you're right on that, and I think this started since the day Poch was sacked. If I'm being honest, And is it 6
I think it
years?
started before Poch was sacked. I think one of the reasons Poch was sacked was because we were doing this.
Yeah, probably. So are you? Look, I always go back to. I know a lot of people in the chat don't read it, but I go back to Alan Sugar's time in charge of the club. Right, not the greatest chairman in the world, but at least putting money's where your mouth is. He had more intentions of seeing Tottenham succeed than I think the Lewis or Enoch or the Lewis family have. I don't think the Lewis. I keep saying it. The Lewis family said what they said they were going to do. Their job and their remit when they came in was to get us into the Champions League. We've done that, so they fulfilled what they wanted to do. They fulfilled their. This is our top goal. We've done our goal. So why would they want to succeed anymore? Their main mission now is to build a hotel and build property around Tottenham and make Tottenham slightly better. They'd have no intentions of backing a manager or going for a championship or going for a Champions League or whatever. But I will say we do have to pick a good manager, though. Thomas Frank is a good manager, maybe not a Tottenham manager, but he's a good manager probably for a team that wants survival in the Premier League. Do you think I think we've gone away from our philosophy so far, Rain, that I don't think we know who we are. We've got no identity. Do you look back? I look back at the old days, right, when I was a kid and a teenager, and we all knew what Tottenham's identity was. Do you think we lost that when Enoch took over? Because that was sort of first corporate owners to come in, wasn't it? I think it was before the Glazers, or did the Glazers take over Man United before that? I can't remember. But Enoch were the first sort of money, their job is to make money. Their job is to make return on their investment. And getting that money back is getting into the Champions League. Do you think the Champions League also changed the face of football? And Enoch sort of bought into that, thinking, okay, we don't have to be successful.
No, I don't think that.
Make money here.
No, I think property development, I think owners taking over football clubs and those owners being property developers who want to asset strip football clubs is a story as old as time. In fact, you only need to go back to the 70s. You just have to look at Wrexham. Their story is littered with a dodgy business owner who just wanted to sell the ground. My beloved non-league club that I grew up watching is now a housing estate. You just have to look down the road, West Ham. They've been sold on a soulless stadium that is not fit for football. What's their old ground? It's a housing estate, right? This is a story as old as football itself. Dodgy owners coming in and wanting to turn football clubs into property development exercises. Enoch, that's what Enoch are. They're property developers.
Yeah.
And everyone who says that Levy was a great businessman, you need to actually understand what Levy was doing. What Levy was doing was not improving Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. What Levy was doing was increasing the capital, was increasing the value of the capital that he had in Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And yes, we get some kind of benefit out of that, but no direct. We've had no direct benefit apart from the Europa League.
Right.
That's the reality. So if we go back, well, 1 second, you had a long rant, mate. You had a long rant.
Yeah, but I've got a question in my head. I need to get out.
Well, that's fine. Maybe write it down and write it down. And we since we had Paul Mitchell, who got some kids like Dele Alli, got some less well-known players like Ericsson and Heung-min Son, but we also got players at that time like Wanyama. We also got some players and Heung-min Son was not an inexperienced player then. Heung-min Son had played like 3 or 4 years in the Bundesliga by the time that we bought him. We brought in Kieran Trippier, right? An experienced player. Yes, we got him from Burnley, but he knew how to play football, right? We brought in players like Michael Vaughan. We brought in players. We brought in players who could play football, and it's since then, when Paul Mitchell went, we had a gap after Paul Mitchell, and Daniel Levy sort of effectively took over the transfer business, and then we got Hitchin, and that's when things started to go wrong, because then the accountant's model of how to do transfers kicked in. The accountant's model of creating value, of buying cheap, right? Buying young and cheap, and then developing them, developing your asset so that it becomes more valuable later down the line. What the problem with that is that you start off with a very, very low quality asset. And in the Premier League, if you have low quality assets equals players, by the way. So if you have a low quality player, right, you risk that player not being able to perform. And now we're in the position where we've got so many undervalued, low quality players that we're going to be dragged into into relegation. Anyone who thinks this is Frank's fault is deluded. There's a reason why Conte flipped out. There's a reason why we finished 8th that season. There's a reason why, after a promising manager bounce and start under Postecoglou, we ended up finishing. Was it 5th in his first season? There's a reason why we finished 17th last season. There's a reason why we're in the relegation this season, and it's all about how we get what type of players we put on the pitch. It's not about the coach. We've had enough coaches to prove that it's not about the coach. It's about the continual poor recruitment that we have at this club in terms of players. Now, it needs to be fixed, and it needed to be fixed in the summer, and it needed to be fixed in January, and it needs to be fixed in this summer. And if it isn't, then do you know what? If we get relegated, I don't know how they're going to fix it, for starters. If we do survive relegation and then it isn't fixed in the summer, it will just be Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I've got some breaking news to come as well. Sorry, I think you make some good points there. I will grab on a couple of them. This is actually from Vindaloo. Big up Vindaloo. It says apparently news is filtering out that Frank has been called in. Backing or sacking, we shall see. That's what I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to get the latest on that as we do. But this one I found, Rain, and it's very big up to you, Vindaloo, by the way. I hope you're doing well, bud. Big up to you. How do you feel about today, Man City beating Liverpool? Put you under a little bit of pressure now. This one's from Lord Sugar, which is one of the questions I was going to ask you, actually. I've got a question in my head.
Saw that. I saw that on X.
What do you think of that? Do you think he's more on the money than... Do you think he might be on the money with that one?
But Joe Lewis isn't involved.
No, but the Lewis family is. But what he's saying is, I can't really understand why the Lewis family basically is not throwing money into. No,
they've never done. So it's a bit of a moot point because they've never had.
Yeah.
All of the money and all of the development at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club has been built off of the fans. It's been built off of the huge amounts of revenue. You know, top 6 in the Deloitte Money League in revenue. All of the revenue that they get off the fans.
Yeah, I agree. Just one quick question, then we will end off because I've got something to quickly do at 8. I need the time to prepare that. Alan Sugar, who was the better chairman? Alan Sugar or Enoch?
Alan Sugar was the better chairman.
I would agree with 100%. I was wondering where you're going to go, what you're going to answer to that. Let us know in the channel too, guys, in the chat. Who was the better chairman, Alan, and there's a lot of us don't. There's people in the chat probably don't even know who Alan Sugar is, or don't remember Alan Sugar. We do. Why was he better chairman than Ineck? Is it because I thought he put the club's interest first and his own interest second? He tried to.
Yes,
Anyway.
absolutely. I mean, we were in dire straits in the 90s, but he absolutely tried to get players in the door, players who would play the Tottenham way. He tried to put football first. Now we are going to benefit from Ineck doing their property development on top of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But you just wait. All these people who say that Ineck have been the ones who benefited us the most, just wait. What would you say the same thing if Ineck walked away, sold the football operations, but kept hold of all of the property and fleeced Tottenham that way? Because I could see them doing it.
Got people. Look, people are saying here. It's an interesting thing because we are going to do a show on it, aren't we, or a video on it on the Sugar years and why you and me are mostly sympathetic to Alan Sugar and the time. I don't think he helped his cause by sacking Terry Venables. He had to. I understand that, but do you think with some of the fan base that's where some of the hatred went back to? And I think it was. He had to do it, but I think that's where the hatred comes from. But if you look at Alan Sugar over the years, I go back to the year when we were thrown out the FA Cup, 12 points deducted, £500,000 fine. He fought all the way. Would Daniel Levy fought for us if we were if that was right? Let me ask you this then, Rain. If we had the punishment under Daniel Levy, banned from the FA Cup, 12 points deducted, and £500,000 fine, do you think he would have fought the same way Alan Sugar fought for us back in 94, 95?
I think he would if it would have meant that it impacted his bottom line.
So why did Alan Sugar do it?
I'm not sure that I'm not sure he would. Would he have been as successful as
Alan Sugar?
As Alan Sugar? I don't know.
Probably not.
I mean, we can do more on this, but
Yeah.
I think Alan Sugar's main problem was Christian Gross.
Yeah. Jerry Francis.
Jerry Francis. I love
Jerry Francis wasn't a bad manager, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think I don't think he was as bad as people thought he was. Let's see what people think on this, actually. Tom Kinham, it says Ineck hands down. That's interesting. Neither, says Jimmy Hotspur. We are Spurs. When do we have a parade for being good financial standing? Some fans are so proud that we're in a good financial stand. Well, I mean, to where we were. I'm going
to say as well, we are Spurs TV. A lot of that is organic. It's what in financial circles we call organic, which means Ineck had nothing to do with it. It's just that the prize, the TV money there's a reason why. There's a reason why Tottenham Hotspur Football Club was worth 50 million in the year 2000 and is now worth 4 billion. And it's not Ineck, it's TV revenue money. That's what it's all about. So if Alan Sugar had been the custodian when there was that explosion of TV revenue, would we in the 2000s and 2010s, would we have been in a better place? Who knows, right? Who knows? But I can tell you this: in the 10 years Alan Sugar was at the club, he got more exciting players in than we have under Ineck.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. We've got Alfie saying Alan Sugar is a fan like us. If he had the money Ineck currently we wouldn't be in this mess, in my opinion. Might be wrong, but that's my opinion. He's also a fan and thinks like us as well. That's the point I was making. That's why he fought, because he knew how much the FA Cup meant to us as a club and to us fans. I don't think Daniel Levy would have put the same sort of effort into that. Big up to Rain. Sugar, no question, wouldn't that on Ineck if they were on fire. Fair enough. Dominic says Alan Sugar, he wasn't a billionaire, but he spent what he could. Lucky
Yep.
says Alan Sugar wasn't an even man. Sports business. Yeah. Simon says Sugar was a Spurs fan. Well, we've got here, just like we benefit from the new stadium, and he's having a good giggle at that.
But yeah, because we don't, do we? We don't.
No,
and
we don't.
You know, so many people. Sorry, who said that? Who was it?
We are Spurs TV.
We are Spurs TV. So many people thought we're going to get this extra revenue, and it's going to be like, this is our expenses, this is our revenue, and our revenue is going to go like this, and we're going to have so much more money.
Yeah.
What nobody realised was, with a bigger stadium and more operations, your expenses do that as well. Do you know what I mean? So effectively, building the stadium has had one sizable impact. Yes, we do get a bit more money, but the biggest impact it's had is it's increased the amount of capital that ENIC now have in the football club. The value of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, which only benefits them, not us, has increased because of the stadium. We have not seen any direct impact in terms of quality on the pitch since we built that stadium.
No, we haven't. Pure Coy says we wouldn't have been in that position under Levy. I think also that need to put that into perspective. They were punishing Tottenham for what happened under the Scholar years, which is another ownership we need to talk about as well, because I think we've had a few ownerships over the years that have been a bit funny. The Scholar years was the years that nearly brought us to our knees. The Sugar years was about building us up financially and giving us a foundation. ENIC have taken it on and built the house, but no furniture in the house. So I think that goes back to the Sugar years. But my question was, would you prefer Alan Sugar or Levy as chairman now? And
Nige, tell us what you think. Would you prefer Alan Sugar or Daniel Levy, mate?
Yeah, bigger, and we will get you on, Nige. We will get you on, bud. I do watch your shows. I don't always comment, but I always like, and I always watch your shows, but they're good shows to watch. And thank you for coming in and getting involved here as well. Levy would have, as it would have cost Levy and the club money. Yeah, that's true. And Alan Sugar didn't care, did he? Football was different. Football was different then, but I think the main thing about football is winning, isn't it? That's never changed. What's changed is football has evolved, the financial marketship has evolved, but winning has never changed, has it? It's always been winning, and I think that's the problem. I think Alan Sugar's a winner, Daniel Levy or ENIC are not winners. They're quite happy just getting to the Champions League. I think Alan Sugar, as chairman, would say, right, we've got to the Champions League. I want to go and win the damn thing now. I want to go and win the Premier League. And I feel if he had money, I think, and the years under Sugar weren't great league-wise. I just think there's a better crop of managers out now, and there's more money. And I think TV money is behind all of this, the club's building. And I think you're right in that. You look at the TV money. When Sky first came in, I think it was 2.8 million or 3.8 million. I think the figures. The first 92, 93. The last TV cycle was what you're now talking billions. You're talking 3.5 billion for the Premier League. So I think, I don't know, it's harder, but for me personally, I think Alan Sugar would be a better chairman than Levy. Tom says it's only because I can't remember the Sugar years. This is the problem, isn't it, Rain? There's people just known ENIC. I think this is why we're going to do the show. I think to educate these younger fans, isn't it? To be fair,
it was a very different world, a very different business, a very different
landscape.
Sport.
Yeah,
absolutely. But there's definitely lessons that we can learn. And I still come back to, the last 10 years, the way that we've tried to build squads. And I think Thomas, you put it right. Palace won today. We were in trouble with this manager, with players. Solanke, Maddison, Johnson, Davies, Dragusin, Spence should have been gone after last year. And there's so many others. Mate. And we've got to the position where, you know, let's come back. Let's deal with now, right? In the January transfer window, we had Davies went out injured. Udogie, nobody, if anybody thought Udogie wasn't going to get injured, well, maybe they need to reassess their, you know, how they think about football, because he is injured again. So, you know, let's just think that he's going to constantly be injured. And yet we didn't go out and get a top quality left back. We went and got a 19-year-old who's played 24 professional games from Brazil, who might, it's a massive, massive, massive risk. Massive risk. You know, we didn't go and get a left winger. People need to stop talking about money. Money is not the reason why they didn't go and get players. The reason why they didn't go and get, the reason why they could get a 19-year-old from Brazil is because they don't have to register him in the Premier League. So they don't have to change the squad list. The reason why they got Gallagher is because they got rid of Johnson, which meant that they could do 1 in, 1 out on the squad list. What they are not competent in doing, what they're scared of doing, is buying too many players, so that then they have too many players that they can't put on the squad list. We in January were in a dire position. We should have taken all of the players off the squad list who weren't going to play this season. Madison isn't going to play. Kulusevski isn't going to play. Just tell them, I'm sorry, we need players, therefore you're not going to go on the squad list. If you come back fit, fine, but you're not going to be able to play in the Premier League this year. That's just the way it is. And then go and get players to fill those positions. And then in the summer, when we've got 28 players in a 25-man list, 3 players have to go. So Bissouma, get rid. Richarlison, get rid. Udogie, I'm sorry, if we can get money for him, grab the money. Vicario, if we can get money for him, move him on. Get a goalkeeper who is a 6 or 7 out of 10, not a 4 or an 8, right? It's Romero. Let Romero go. Bring Vuskovic back. Build a proper squad.
Yeah. No, I get it. He doesn't. I mean, his family don't want him to come back, and I think Bayern Munich want that as well. But I get what you're saying. It is right. But look, is this ownership going to do it, right? The answer to that is probably not. They're not. And that's the thing. Big up to Danji, says, good evening, guys. Love the sugar years. Last time we got a world-class player in prime, Jurgen Klinsmann. I was shocked when we bought Klinsmann. We got Klinsmann in. Absolutely dumbstruck. For me, Spurs have got huge over my lifetime, just not much silverware. I feel guilty for these fans, Rain. I have to go. Geez, that's the time I have to go soon, right? I feel guilty for these fans because we've seen success. I've seen success. I've seen us win 2 European trophies. Were you around when we won the UEFA Cup in '84? I think
I wasn't really watching. Well, there wasn't any football on TV. I was only interested in playing football then. I was just interested in going to the park and playing football.
Well, I played, watched, slept, breathed football, so I remember that. So yeah, I get it. I do get it, but I think Alan Sugar, I think we will do a show in that, and definitely will. Big up to Dominic. I believe if it wasn't for the THFC Heron Guy Council doesn't give Enoch the green light for all those property developments, that's something else.
100%.
Yeah. Good on there. I like this one, made me giggle. Smash the like if you want us to bottle it. That's what I was laughing at. I thought that was a giggle. That gave me a giggle. Well done to you, Vindaloo. Hope you're doing well. But guys, that is it. Just go a few more. God, there's so many people in the chat today. I'm sorry if I haven't got to everyone. I do apologize. 100%. Dominic says Owen Spurs makes it far easier for that. Yeah, exactly. Big up to Scott. I haven't seen you for a while, but big up to John Fitzpatrick, my Irish brother. It says Brenny, Tell, Udogie, Kulu, Vic, Richie all need to be sold. Exactly.
Yep, 100%.
We are going to do a squad selling show where we're going to go through the squad and we're going to see who we're going to sell and keep. Definitely will do that. We are missing Richie right now. I never thought I would say that. I probably agree with you. Never thought I would agree with you, but we do need the pigeon. Big up to Rudolph. Perhaps we should let Romero go, bring back Vakovic, sign his brother a knockdown price, keep him happy with the promise we'll play them together in some games when possible. Logic outcomes okay too, but I would agree with that. Big up the Castor as well. We need a head coach whose heart beats for the club, not some fool with a Rick mentality who spins the Arsenal badge around. I think with the cup thing, Rain, and this will be the last thing we'll very quickly talk about. I think that picture will be Thomas Frank's legacy, won't it, at the club? It will be.
I think that's harsh.
But do you also feel it's very unfair that people keep? I think it was a genuine mistake. I rarely do think it was a genuine mistake.
I think it's clearly been explained. It's clearly been explained what that was and why it happened, and it doesn't indicate anything.
So my question to you, Bud. We've got Newcastle Tuesday. Don't worry, me and Rain's very famous predicted lineup will be coming out for you Tuesday morning. So do look for that. People are enjoying our predicted lineup videos, by the way.
It's like shock horror.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but we may put all of the players who we think who are fit on the pitch. we may do that.
We may do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a header.
How? What formation? This is the question. This is the question.
Yeah. Can we go for the Aussie formation? Can we do the Aussie formation? One at the back, one in midfield, and everyone else up front. I think it's time we went Aussie or dealer style. Thomas Frank. Stupid question. He definitely gets.
Do you think you're going to get a different answer from me?
I always tell my ass. I hope I do, but I know I won't. Right. We've got Newcastle, right? And then we've got 12 days to Arsenal. If we get a point or a draw, I think he's safe. A winner or draw, I think Frank's safe to Arsenal. If we get humped quite bad at home, there's 12 days to Arsenal. And Tottenham do have somebody in mind. So my first question is very quickly, because I've got 5 minutes. Does he get the boot, and who would you bring in for the Arsenal game? If hypothetically, I'm asking you to go into
hypothetical. Is this your quick question? Is it, Dermot?
Yeah, it's hypothetical. not no, he stays. Hypothetical.
Dermot, I'm as consistent as gravity.
I get an answer out of you.
I'm as consistent as gravity, right? The results are nothing to do with whether Frank keeps his job.
Yeah.
The only thing that matters is whether they think they can get somebody else in. That's the only thing that matters. And who gets that person in is the biggest question. Because I tell you this, it's not Lange, right? It would have been Paratici. Paratici absolutely would have been all over that. But it's not Lange. I don't think it's Vinay. I don't think there's anybody at the club who is going to take that decision and who is going to go and get a different head coach. I just don't. Okay. If there is, then fine, go and do it. But my take is,
that
there isn't somebody that there's a void at this club of which is usually filled by a competent director of football or sporting director or whatever you want to call them, like Ashworth, like Edwards, like Barber, like Mitchell did for us, right? Like Paratici tried to do for us. There's a void of that person at our club. Lange is not it. Lange is he's going to go and find some kids for you, and that's it. And he'll do what he's told, but that's it. He doesn't appear to have any kind of intelligence about how things should be run or how things should go forwards. So Frank is going nowhere until somebody in the club can answer those questions. And those questions are very easily answered in the summer because all of a sudden other head coaches become available and it's easy and then they've got time to do it as well.
Yeah. Can I just say big up to everyone? We're nearly at 50 likes, by the way. if you can get us to 50 likes, I really would appreciate that. I've enjoyed tonight's show. It's been a good show, Rain. It's been very. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing
And
shows.
guys,
with you. I must admit.
if you don't normally come and watch THFC Till We Die, we do have we're quite a unique channel. We do watch alongs. Yes, we do. All of the meat and two veg of Tottenham Hotspur content. But what we also do is we talk about the real things that are going on at our club, and we always have a little thought back to the history, the culture, and what Tottenham Hotspur Football Club really is, and that's the fans. So, if you're watching this for the first time because there's a bit of a Tottenham Hotspur content void, or you just saw the thing pop up on your YouTube and you thought, oh, I'll go and have a look at that, and you like what you're hearing, sub to the channel and come and watch more of us, because I think you'll like what we say, and you'll like engaging in the chat with our regular community. And I hope that I do see some of you again. I'm not going to name you because then I'll be making favourites, but there's certainly some new people I see in the chat, and I think, yeah, you are absolutely, you are right up my street. Yeah.
Yeah, this channel, this channel is 5 years old this year, and we've grown over the last 5 years, and there's a lot of regulars been with me since the beginning of my YouTube journey, and it's also trying to find the right people to fit the channel. And I think I've now found the right people that fit this channel. There's Tequila, there's James, and of course myself, and there's Rain. And between the four of us, we always bring up good content. We try to, but I think the last sort of 5 months, this channel's really exploded, and it's down to you guys. And we do plenty of content. Yes, we will be covering the under 21s. Me and Rain, we're going to look at the kids, because I know me and Rain like looking at our younger players and see what's coming through. And we are going to cover some of the women's games as well, because I think they're doing well at the moment. And I think very quickly, Rain, it is important that we look at all aspects of Tottenham Hotspur, not just the men's side, but the under 21s, the women's side as well, where I feel that we should give it equal loving, because we're all one club at the end of the day, aren't we? And I think that's important. But Rain, where can people find you, bud? I love this answer. I find it so funny.
Here.
See, that's it. Straight to the point. I love it. Straight to the point. Big up to Colin. Said my son is over from Osdermo, so the whole family will be there Tuesday. And at my age, this could be my last visit. And I will big up to you, Colin. I hope you have a lovely time.
And do you know what, Colin? I know that we have to wrap up. Dermot needs to go. I know, but some of the things that disappoint me the most, I can't remember what game it was. I can't remember whether it was Sunderland. I can't remember what the game was at home. And there was a kid on the train, and he had ants in his pants. He was me when I was like 8 or 9 years old. He could not sit still. He was hanging from the bar that people hold on to. And when we came up to White Hart Lane, he stuck his, and I was talking to his mum, and his mum was like, I can't control it. I was like, and it was his first game. And when we came up to White Hart Lane, and she said we're never on the train. This is all new to him. When we came up to White Hart Lane, he stuck his nose on the window, and he was like, "Oh, look, there it is," because he was seeing the stadium for the first time. And then the players went out there, and they didn't perform for that kid. So I hope, Colin, that the players go out there and they perform for you on Tuesday night, because you're the important person.
Yeah, it is. And look, he saw the double side as well. Absolutely. Big up Colin, my Celtic cousin. Of course, he is from the Welsh Valleys, where Tom Jones sang "It's Not Unusual." Philip Brady takes his inspiration.
So are we wrapping up, Dermot?
We're wrapping up now. If you want to join us, Philip Brady is on our political channel. Dermot and Philip's political podcast. So join us there in a few minutes. Get over there, guys. Get over there. Big up Colin. Big up to everyone. His first game was 1958 for me versus Blackpool, and lost. But yeah, it should be all. Guys, we are back tomorrow with all your usual build up for the Newcastle game, and then Tuesday, predict the lineup watch along after the whistle. Everything will be here. Me, Rain, Tequila, the gang will be here. John giving you all the latest from White Hart Lane. Any more breaking news we'll bring to you first and fastest, as we always do. But in all case, come on, you Spurs. In the big cockerel we trust. Follow Chirpy all the way to Wembley. See ya.
Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner.